Welcome to the legendary Brabazon course here at the Belfry, home of 4 Ryder Cups. We've teamed up with Callaway, and Alex Elliott and I are going to show you how to play 7 epic shots. We're here at the 3rd hole on the Brabazon. It's a reachable par 5, so a real tempter. Alex has got his tee shot quite a way down, but as you can see, we've just slipped over into the rough here, so there's a decision to be made.
Definitely.
Alex, what are you thinking right now?
I guess there's 2 options, depending on how your game's going right now. You could have started well and you might feel confident enough to take this on. Other options you've got here is if your game's not feeling quite good, and sometimes we have those days, is we could actually lay up down this right hand side. But we've seen people play these shots. I want to take it on right now as well. So we're in the rough. Now with this ball sat down a little bit, we've got to sort of use a club that's going to help us get it in the air. Out the fairway, we could probably get away with those long irons, the 4 iron, potentially something around there. But 190 yards out, I'm thinking hybrid. Help me get that ball in the air. A little bit of help is all I need here.
Great stuff. Right, so you've decided you're going for it.
Yes.
We've got the hybrid. Talk us through the technique of how you're going to play this shot.
So I guess there's sort of a feeling I want people to use there. I kind of teach along sort of the feeling route. So ball position's really key. We need to make sure we've got the ball in the correct position, and the feeling through the shot, I want people to attach this very close to an iron shot. Let's not try and help it in the air. Let's try and feel like we get a little bit of a downwards hit, and on a downwards lie as well, that's really, really important. So in terms of ball position, what I really like to see for golfers with the hybrid is a club head inside the left heel. Probably where they're going to attach their longer irons, or potentially like a 5-wood or 3-wood.
Sure.
But then the feeling through the hit, and I do this for every single shot out on the golf course. Make a few practice swings, just inside the ball, looking where I want to contact that ground. So I'm really looking to sort of brush that grass in front, not sort of get a feeling of scooping it up into the air. And I mean, I think it's amazing. You see some of the best players on tour do this. They do exaggerated feelings relative to their swing thoughts from their coach, but also relative to the shot that they've got.
Absolutely. All right, there we go. So we've got take a hybrid to help you get it up in the air. Make sure you're aware of that ball position, and make sure you get down into it with that exaggerated feel. You've talked us through it.
I've talked a big game here.
You've talked it up. Now let's see it in action.
Okay, so here we go. Work through your routine, take on one of these shots, and we all know our playing partners will enjoy it just as much as us if we get it on.
Oh, that looks pretty. Go
good.
a little. So you're up around the green, chipping a putt for a birdie. Epic shots call for epic locations, and it does not get any more epic or iconic than the 10th hole here on the Brabazon course at the Belfry. Look at that behind me. We can all remember Seve Ballesteros being the first man to knock it on there. The amazing Ryder Cup moments we've seen. You're here, you stood on the tee. What's the thought process about how you're going to tackle this incredible golf hole?
I think first and foremost, if you're here, you want to have a go, don't you?
Yes, you
You
do.
just want to have a go. I think if we look at this logically, we've got to sort of put it in that category of it's just another drive. Now, I know it's not, but if we're going to hit our drive our best and give ourselves our best opportunity of getting it near or getting it on, I think if we stick to sort of 3 simple rules.
Yep.
Good alignment, try and put some good rhythm on it, and in your head, really try and hone in on the target rather than a wide open fairway. So triple track ball, what I would do in terms of like my routine, and actually not just for this hole, I'd do this on every single hole. I'd always stand behind and place my lines down towards target. So I know straight away I'm aligned to where I want to be. Second, I'm going to take my stance, build my stance around that, honing on my target rather than looking in that wide open space. So in this case, a very tight front flag. And now all I want you to picture is, can you be balanced? Because this would be very easy for any golfer of any level, just to give it a little bit more because of the situation and think, can I get it there? So be balanced and try and not make it more than it is.
And just on shot shape, obviously most amateur golfers, and certainly myself included, we play with a fade, verging on a slice at times. That suits this perfectly, so let's roll with it, let's go with it, 100%. Set up allowing for that shape, taking it into the hole.
And if we're honest, if we hit a good one and it does leak a little bit right, we might get a friendly bounce off the tree and end up on the green.
Well, let's see how lucky we're feeling today.
Hopefully very. So ball down, keep checking your target, checking your alignment, build your stance around those lines on the ball. Last thing, be balanced. Be good.
Oh, that looks pretty.
Be good.
Oh, if that's the right length. Oh, he's right over the top of it on the green. There you go. Epic moments, epic shots. We're on the 17th, another beautiful hole here. It's a par 5, it's reachable. Every chance to go for it in 2 from here, Alex, but just one problem. Those branches are overhanging, but you've got to go for it, right?
Oh, 100%. I think this is a great situation, risk and a bit of reward here, or a lot of reward. Where the green's set, with it sort of funneling with those bunkers, it sort of lends itself to that ball landing short, running up towards that flag, if we can pull it off.
So with that in mind, we've got to play a punch shot, essentially,
Definitely.
to get it under these branches and running up onto the green. Explain to us how we do that.
So the first thing we've got to sort of go for is the lowest lofted club in our bag. Now for some people this may be a 6 iron, some people it could be upwards of a 3 iron. We've got a 3 iron here, so I'm going to choose my 3 iron. If you've got a 6 iron, 5 iron, just choose your least lofted club. So we've got to control a few things here. How much we hit down on the golf ball and the loft the golf club has an impact. Also we could put speed into that mix as well. So we want to feel as though we're going to hit more down and reduce our loft. Now there's a lot of these things that we can do at the address position. So let's work through in sort of like a 5-stage map, as I kind of like to think it. So first off, let's grip down that golf club. It's going to help us control the speed. Second, we're going to build our stance with that ball towards the back of our stance. Number 3, can we get a little bit of weight on our left side? Number 4, I always like to do this, without going too much into detail, we need to make sure that we're body's aiming a little bit left because we're hitting it early in our arc. So aim a little bit left with that body, and then the 5th point, try and put a smooth 3/4 swing on it. All these factors help us control angle of attack, help us control the loft of the club, and hopefully see that ball fizz out nice and low.
Great stuff. Let's see it in action.
Let's go. So I think, as we've spoken about throughout this whole series, it's having a routine that you can stick to on these shots. So pick the target, I'm going to walk in, gripping down on that golf club, place that golf club down, ball slightly back in the stance, weight left, now we're in a position to go.
Very nice. Chasing up in between the bunkers onto the putting surface. You've got an eagle putt. We're on the 15th, another beautiful hole here. Alex has hit a very, very rare bad shot. You've got yourself in a little bit of trouble. You're short-sided. There's a big old yawning bunker in front of you. What are you going to do to save your par from here?
Well, I think there's only one thing to do, isn't there? Flop shot. Big, high flop shot.
We're thinking Phil Mickelson style here, aren't we?
100%. Like, it's almost like the hero shot. If it comes off good, you're a hero. If it doesn't, it can make you look a little bit of a fool.
So what are you assessing to decide whether you can carry that off?
I think the most important thing to do is I always work it from the ball to target, like a ball to target line. So I'd have a look at my lie. I think if we're going to hit this flop shot, we want that grass just to be cushioning that ball up a little bit. On a bare lie, we might have to look at a different option. I then would walk around this bunker and probably walk to where I want to land it. Because you get a good understanding. Take this hole here, for example. We've got a bit of a backstop, not a lot of green between the fringe and the flag. So assessing it, going to where your target is, and you can get a full, good understanding of where you want to hit that ball to.
Great stuff. So we're going to go for the most lofted wedge 100%. In the bag.
So
how are you setting up for this one?
If I keep it really nice and simple. Bunker shot is all I'm sort of thinking. So I would walk through a routine. So I'd place that club down with the face open on the ground. I would then take my hold if you look at that there, Kit, like my hold to me is relatively neutral, but relative to the club face is really, really open. And then place that club down behind the back of the golf ball. And for a lot of people now, it would be a bit of a scary situation. That club face looks like it's pointing a little bit to the right, but we'll correct that in a second. So then take a nice wide stance with the ball just favouring the left half. And then this is the key thing here. You sitting down a little bit and getting the weight a little bit left actually will get that loft pointing somewhat to target. I want you to actually work through a different sort of feeling in release. I want you to imagine there's a little smiley face on that club face. As you're swinging through, can you point it back at you? Rather than most people would release a club like this, we want to feel a little bit more of an element of this.
Brilliant.
Make sure you take a few practice swings. Get used to the lie as well. You've got to get used to that club working through the grass. Picture how much force you've got to put into it, because I think the hard thing for most amateur golfers here and club golfers is it requires a lot more speed than you think. So place your club down, take your hold, ball up in your stance, sit down a little bit, mirror that loft back at you.
Well, that is very high, very soft.
Landing soft.
Kept it on the right level, and that is a very makeable par putt. It's the tricky 16th now. We've got an approach, but it's a difficult one. We all know how tough it is to be good from fairway bunkers. You're in one right here, Alex. That pin is tucked. What are you going to do?
I think, again, it's like we've had in this whole series, have a little bit of a formula for these big epic shots. So first and foremost, have a look at the lie, because if this is not lying well, we can get a bit of a clump of sand behind it, sometimes even get a bit of a fried egg here. We've got to take our punishment and just take it out of the bunker and use a most lofted club. Then I'd have a look at the side profile. How quick have I got to get this ball up over the lip? Because how many times do we think, yeah, you know what, I can get a 6-iron and get a 5-iron out of here? We leave it in the bunker. Double bogey staring us back in the face. So we go lie, we look at the side profile. I then choose a club. So I've got 135 here. This would probably be a comfortable 9-iron for me, but I'm going to go wedge. I'd rather get this ball out, come up short, and I've got a chance of making it a bogey at worst. If I leave it in here, we're talking making some big scores. So then take a nice normal hold. I wouldn't change too much on that. I tend to go with my wedges anyway, in the middle and an even amount of grip at the top and the bottom. Normal ball position. And this is where it differs from what we would have as a traditional bunker shot. We usually screw our feet right into the sand. We're staring a fat shot. So I think we want to sort of make sure we've got a compacted bit of sand under us, so we've got a stable base. So our final point is then pick out a little bit of a mark in front of the ball, make sure the legs stay a little bit quieter through the shot, and really focus on trying to hit down on the ball, not get it in the air.
And just one other point, are we doing anything with the ball position here to encourage that we make sure we get contact on that little white sphere before the sand?
You might want to put it a little bit further back in your stance. I mean, with a wedge, traditionally, you're going to have it sort of towards the back of your stance anyway. If you're on a bit further away, taking more like a 7-iron, 8-iron, you might want to put it half a ball to a ball back in your stance.
Brilliant. Let's see you take it on. If you can get it close to that pin, that really is an epic shot.
It's a tight flag. So a little bit of digging, keep the legs nice and quiet.
Beautiful contact.
Just a little bit short, but I'm not turning this situation into a double bogey.
You give yourself a chance to save your par. Here we are on the 18th tee at the Brabazon. It's a beautiful golf hole, but what an intimidating shot. Sometimes you just have to take it on, and when there's water lurking short, and you know the more you bail out, the more difficult that second shot is going to be. This is one of those moments, isn't it, Alex?
Definitely. Like you said there, you bail out right, you're probably laying up for your second here.
Yeah. So how are we going about hitting that absolute bomb off the tee?
Well, we've got to stand up and deliver. That's first and foremost, and we'd go with driver here, definitely.
Absolutely.
So I would tend to have, in my golf game, and as I go through a round, have sort of 3 different tee heights. My low one, if it's a little bit of a chippier one, into the wind. My medium one, which I sort of class as my fairway finder. And then what I call is my bombs away tee height.
I love it.
So what I look for here is, as I'm addressing the golf ball, is actually having half a ball above the face. I tend not to have this. I sort of have a quarter usually on like my fairway finder shot. So first and foremost, half a ball above the face, and then want to address the ball up in the stance. That's really, really key. And just remind yourself, check what you could do nice and simply. Address it in the middle of your stance with your feet together. Just turn your left toe out, move your right foot away. I know right away I've got that ball in the correct position. Next point, can I make sure my shoulders are actually feeling as though they're parallel to my feet line? A lot of golfers, ball up in the stance, sort of get a little bit this way, and all this is going to encourage sort of this motion. If you think about it logically, if we get behind it, we've got a better chance of this upwards hit. And finally, I call that my gears sort of theory. Most of the drives that I hit, sort of fairway finders, sort of gear 4 in our car. This one, we've got to step up, we've got to go gear 5. So we've got to feel like we've got to be balanced, but we give it just that little bit more.
Absolutely. Well, this is a new tee box here for the British Masters. You are the first person to hit a ball off it, so no pressure.
I feel it.
Let's give it the bombs away.
So walk in, right shoulder back, gear 5 with some balance.
Oh, there's a bit of turn on that as well.
So the line here is trying to start it at the bunker, and if you do get it to turn on that left edge, you're absolutely in the perfect position.
Perfect. So aggressive off the tee, committing to it, nailed it, and now you've set yourself up for that iconic approach into the 18th here at the Belfry. Here we are in the fairway then at the 18th, and what an epic shot you are faced with right now, Alex. We've got the plaque down there from Christy O'Connor's magical 2-iron in that Ryder Cup. Fortunately, 2-iron isn't one of the options we need today with all the technology at our disposal. We've got a few options here. You can go hybrid, long iron, perhaps even a lofted fairway wood. What are you going to do from this position? I'm
going to go 3-iron. Notoriously probably a difficult club for most club golfers, for a couple of reasons really. If I don't quite get it, I know I've got the cover over the water, and if I hit my Sunday best, I'm not going to go long. So that middle of the road sort of club for me there. I think if I went a little bit longer, back edge, downhill chip, don't like the fancy that one.
No, you don't want that. Using that long iron though, that brings the microscope onto your ball striking. As amateurs, we can often struggle when we get into those long irons.
Yeah, I think we look down on it, we don't see a lot of loft on the club. We 9 times out of 10 get a little bit thinny in that right shot, and that's certainly in a lot of wet trouble right here. So I think if we just think of 3 simple things, and these can be thought of off the golf ball. Number 1, ball position. Number 2, can we feel that club is travelling a little bit lower through impact rather than trying to scoop this ball up high? And the final one sort of ties into that second one, and I would simply make some movements. I mean, if we look at all the top tour players, we've mentioned this in this series before, of having a feeling to take into a shot. Most club golfers, a little bit fadey, so I would really try and feel we have this sort of long right arm feeling and this released down towards target. So make some little practice motion just like this without a golf club, and you're getting a great feeling, and 9 times out of 10 this will probably send it dead straight.
Right, we've got the pin tucked away there on the top of the 3 tiers.
Yeah.
This is your moment.
I'm feeling the pressure.
Show us something epic. Come on, you've got this.
Walking in, ball position, I want to feel it's a club head, and sort of on the right edge of this club head here on the heel side, inside my left heel, down, mirror that feeling, hit it away.
Oh, what a strike that is, if that is the right club.
That is all over it.
It's up there on the back tier. I think you might have about 6 foot. That is a truly epic golf shot. There we have it. That is how to hit 7 epic shots here at the Belfry. I hope you enjoyed those tips from Alex. Next time you're on the course and you're faced with one of those situations, do what he said and you'll have some epic shots of your own. Thanks for watching.